we'll be back as we're heading into the final 30 minutes of the show, and of course winding it up. But of course, before we get there, don't forget to start your day with Zabu, as of course just made your trading experience much more easy and friendly. Just tap to 90 hash, and of course that's the margin code, as you will be available to quite lots of options. You can buy government securities, bonds, or anything that you feel my money might feature. And of course the market's open at exactly 8:15 a.m. and they close at exactly 3:15 p.m. That is East African time, except on the public holidays when they don't really operate, and also the weekends. Of course, no more excuses for not buying securities, and of course no more paperwork involved, even in your villages and the northwest, east, whatever part of the country you are able to buy government bonds and securities. And it's even made much more easy with as little as 15,000 you're in position to actually get yourself a stock. You can sell these stocks and make some good money. This is money you make on the side. Zabu, my money, my future, and that is really the future. Well, now let's head to what has been happening. And of course, still joined with Joram Sonko on the panel here, not on the panel actually. We are going to be taking you through what are the updates, what's really happening. I'm holding the daily monitor just with me, and Joram, as you're holding the new vision, what's really happening out there? So what is working?
I've seen this headline, and it got me laughing.
Yeah.
Whereby the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amonge, says, "I am a hero. I won't resign." She says she's the one who uncovered all the mismanagement at NSSF. So this takes us back to the report, which was having recommendations that she should
be sacked.
Yeah, she should resign. She should resign. She should step down, for lack of a better word. Now, to her, she's a hero. So heroes never resign.
But you know something, why I say she's a hero, and I still have an argument that I don't think it was right for her to resign. She foresaw that the NSSF, she foresaw the corruption scandals in NSSF long time before they just manifested. And that's why she came up to get the 6.6 billion. Was it for 6 billion? And that is to finance operations, which although NSSF says that they were already going to do that, meaning by the time she requested for that money, she saw that something wasn't right. Let me do it. Let me, the ministry, do it myself, since I control this entity. So I guess that is something which can be really to look up to. Now here in the Daily Monitor, we are looking at here the A-level results. Of course, test science policy win. And of course, we shall be looking at the qualifications which will linger in today's release of the USCE results. Joram, you remember such a time when the USCE results were being released back in the days? And now
today is the D-Day, when they're actually coming up. Well, of course, you get to realize the pressure now goes back to the students, because such a time makes you, the nerves are always high.
Of course.
Because again, you start remembering of some of the mistakes.
And that's why they become so visible.
Yeah, of course. You start looking at, now once the exams are back, you have to sit down with your guardian, your parent, to think ahead. What next? Am I getting into university? Am I going into a technical institute? Is it done for me? Regardless of the kind of result you get. So it is actually a time when most of the students and the guardians, the parents, try to sit down and look back. I do remember back in the time for me, first of all, in such a time you wake up, the first time you're believing is, how is it going to be done? What next for me?
What next?
Where am I heading to in such a time? So you're worried, first of all. You remember that maybe I did a mistake, or maybe
you start to self-doubt yourself.
Yeah, you're doubting. You're like, okay, maybe I didn't put this right. Maybe I didn't.
There's something I didn't really
so
put up together.
At the end of the day, you get to realize that it is all nerves and tension. But by the time the results are out, you know what you did. It is tears to some. There are those who actually never get their exam, their results.
Some don't get the results. Yeah.
So it's you going back to realize 2 years of my A level all wasted, or if you fail. But we continue to remind people that these are settings that do not reveal you as a failure.
Exactly.
Because this is a system that was designed in that way. The curriculum was designed that if you have 20 points, you are worth.
You're worth
success. So you're the successful student here, or you are the A student. Yes. So abasiru, the failures are the ones who get less than the ones who have no principal passes. For example, someone with only 3 points, 4 points. So someone is going to say, "Oh, you are tasobola, yalema." So I even have parents who actually take their students back
to restudy A level
because they failed. Because they failed to reach 20 points. But why can't you? I've put a lot of money into this. So our kind of curriculum, our kind of system has made it worse for students to think that if you are not having this particular one, sometimes I actually will agree when it comes to the science courses, because sometimes it goes back to, because these are the exact things you're going to study even at university. Yes. So it is just an upgrade. So starting from A level, you really need to step up your game. Especially if you want to become a doctor. You look at people who want to become surgeons, want to do something in engineering. But of course, as the life we are living in now, certain things are, besides the technicals in sciences, I'm actually being so honest when it comes to the science perspective, because there are things you're not going to gamble with.
Of course, you either know, you don't know.
Yes, because in social sciences, I can gamble.
It's about daily life.
It's daily life. Yeah. Someone who has done history, economics, divinity is going to do journalism. They're going to do law. Someone who has done HLD, someone who has done history, economics, geography will still head into journalism, or they will actually head into social works. They'll still do all these courses. People at university, at Macquarie University Business School, are in there with only, in their combination in A level, having only entrepreneurship, or others having only economics, adding on to that. So that clearly shows you that the courses are quite open, especially when you're in the social aspect. But when we talk sciences, I do understand, however much you want to be a doctor, but then realistically, there's got a lot to do with what you have to put out. Because you're going to compete for jobs with someone who has a 20 point in PCB, let's say BCM,
and they got even a first class.
So at the end of the day, at university, they're just upgrading to what they've studied. So when you reach there, the cutoff points are always there. There are points that you need to meet. So it's not like you're going to wake up in the morning, because there are lots of private universities that are going to give you opportunities, and you have your 4 points in BCM. Think about the kind of courses, because sometimes I think one thing our career mistresses and guides at university never tell us is, once the exams are out, what are you going to do?
By the result that you're going to see.
By the result. And the kind of situations we are in the country now need someone to have a job and then study something else.
Of course, you need to be multi, add something to yourself everywhere. And in our country, most especially. And
because I've come to realize this as I've actually passed the stage of I've passed the stage of vacation. Because when you're in vac, you have all this excitement. You feel like I have to do the course that is leading me to my job. So if it fails, then I'm done. But then besides that, during vacation, we end up doing some certain jobs.
Yes.
So these jobs are normally, for me, I started university back then when I was actually still, I was working, but then started university. And I've seen, but during that same time, I saw most of the students that I was doing with vacation being told by their parents, now school has started, go to university. They step down, they step down from working. Now, once you're at university, the demands increase.
Of course.
There are things you're not going to ask from your parents anymore. Of course. But because your parents always want to be protective in everything, they will want to provide. But then it will become something of an issue. For example, during these financial constraints, the economy is really hard. As a student, I don't want to put the edge into this situation. You're 20, you're 21, and you're 23. it's just kind of a familiar age bracket for most of us. You're in that age. Then what are you going to add to yourself, as an individual? We're working with people who are studying.
Exactly.
You know, we're working with people who are studying and at the same time paying tuition for themselves. For themselves.
Yeah,
they have children. They're paying. Now, for you, you are as an independent person as you think you are. You're still getting tuition from your parents. Try to get a job. I don't know. Try to get a skill somewhere. The job may fail. You may fail to get a job. Try to do all these casual ushering roles and everything. You know, becoming productive will add something onto you. And then every other day, the opportunity is coming. I normally tell people that here in Uganda, the best way to get a job here has always been internship.
By the talk about
because by the look of things, anything can happen in your workplace where you're interning from. Because I've seen most of the people out there who are really in offices, but they entered in these offices either as volunteers or interns. In a situation that I've gone there, not because I know what to do, I want to learn. Now in the process of learning, things happen. You're getting noticed in one thing. People will definitely see the efforts you're putting into, and they will definitely get back and say, well, what he's doing is right.
It's right,
he's trying, and I think he needs our attention. Or at any one point, someone may actually resign, or someone may get laid off, and they're looking for replacement, and you're there. So it is always putting yourself in a position of being recognized. So for the students out there, I normally tell people, unless when you're a science student and of course what you want to do needs high grades, but for those who are into social sciences, I'm not saying it is right for people, for example, those in A-level now to fail to pass highly, but you should failing to get 20 points, 10 points. So
don't judge yourself.
There are lots of opportunities. I've seen people who actually, even though we're talking about sciences though, I've actually seen people who are doing some engineering courses and they are doing some good work out there because they're getting hands-on experience.
Okay.
Because at universities here in Uganda, you will actually get a 20, for example, and then you go to a university that is not going to give you practicals.
Very true.
Someone gets a 15 and goes somewhere which is giving them practicals and beats you out there in professionalism. So it is my take on this issue of examinations. The nerves are there.
The nerves are there.
You really need to. You're scared because society is going to judge.
I know these days you don't have to go to school, but you say maybe I'll go to tomorrow.
Yeah,
on phone. You get the results.
And once your parents know your index number, they would actually want to even
themselves. They'll search it out.
So, because first of all, our society, the African society, is judgmental. And quick to point fingers.
Because we do comparisons a lot. So and so son did this.
Every day.
See where you do.
And that is where the issue to do with unhappiness comes from in our society. Is that we are always on pressure to outcompete each other. So we don't ever appreciate the little we've achieved. But because someone is going to judge you, your age mate is doing this. What are you doing? So you feel there's some sort of it's like a competition. It's a kind of a situation where the youth are having low self-esteem issues, and this has been attributed to the fact that they're being they're always put under the comparison radar. You're being compared. Okay. Someone is saying the other one's son got 20. You're studying with him. I've been giving you the same things he's been receiving. You've been having the same teachers.
Then what? That's a very tough moment.
Yes. Then what?
It's very.
If the other person got 20 points, I got 10. It has nothing to do with me or with my failure. It has got a lot to do with the fact that this is how things are done. In the whole world, we cannot be winners at the same table.
We can't.
However much we keep on telling people that we can all win at the same time, never has it happened. Because however much we can be working in the same society, there is always one who is ahead.
There is always one superior.
Yes, there is one superior. There is one who is always pushing forward to achieve what the superior has. But again, there is also one who will never reach there, but is always trailing. And that is why you may find people waking up at 4 a.m. to get something in the morning. Someone wakes up at 11 and at 12 they get money. You've woken up at 4 and nothing. So I think society is always harsh on these students. And at 20 years you expect this young person to be young and learning things. And I think it goes back to the fact that our parents sometimes expect us to achieve what they achieved, which is not bad. Even more. Or if at all they fail to achieve something,
they want us to achieve.
Which is the best thing a parent can do.
Never
because as a parent, you wish all the best for your child.
Yeah.
But the fact that sometimes we always, even though we are defending children or the students, that, well, you fail to get 20 points, 10 points. Let's talk about the cautiousness of these students.
Oh yeah.
How cautious? How do they even care?
No, John. You've talked about cautious. When I look at this generation, because we are seeing quite so many career sessions regarding that. During our times, we started to please parents. We started to make pass marks.
Yes.
I mean, you did know the purpose as why you're studying. That's why these students really have a blessing. You study biology from down there, knowing that I want to be a doctor. Take me through successful doctors' careers. How much money do they get? When that financial aspect is in my mind at a very young age, trust me, before I reach university, I'll be so aggressive to succeed.
I'm actually sorry to use this word, but financial aggressiveness has cost our generation a lot, and it has brought in mistakes that we are all living in currently, and we all have made mistakes.
Yeah, very
to financial, this financial dependence. There are things I've come to realize that, however much we always want to be successful, there are things that really need to take time.
Talk about time,
because it's not the fact that I do hear people saying at 22. I can achieve something a 30-year-old can't achieve. Very true. I can travel, you can do this, I can become a boss here. But there's something that comes with age. We don't.
There's a wisdom that comes with age.
That comes with age.
Yeah.
Because with age, you've seen, you've experienced, you've learned. And the essence of learning is of education has got a lot to do with learning. I normally interact with people and tell them in work offices, when you're interacting with someone in any argument, try to remember look back at their education background. It says a lot.
Oh,
it says true. In any argument, I don't know, even in society, in any argument, I don't want to say that people who studied or people who never made it in throughout education are failures. No, because we are saying people who have made it in life even without education. But in the society we are living in, filled up with competition, papers, people passing, intellectuals, the rise of intellectuals, social media has made people think they're intellectuals at a point that if you have these numbers,
you feel like you're the person,
you're wise. Your opinion, if people always give, people always take your opinions
because you have numbers.
Because you have numbers. You're right. So this takes me back to the education and the cautiousness I was telling
of the students.
You find because of, you didn't mention that at a very young age now, these young students they know the purpose of money. For us, our parents, I think it was an act of denial. They deny that access, because I think they knew if we learned to make money at a very young age, we are going to forget the essence of life.
But we wouldn't if we were given the right guidance from childhood.
So, but now a 21-year-old, a 20-year-old, an 18-year-old goes out of high school thinking about how they are going to make 1 million in a week.
Wow, that's good.
Thinking about how they're going to make, and you would love this for the young generation. But the problem is, we have forgotten the fact that if I fail to get it today, it doesn't mean that I'm not worth it.
I'm not worth it.
Because these young people have actually, our generation is actually living in denial with the fact that if a 25-year-old Joram Posonko is moving in the street today, walking on foot, and there's a 25-year-old Gloria Mbabazi somewhere moving into or driving a car, it means she's more successful.
She's more successful than you, because at 25 you're not driving it.
Yes. So you don't have to look at the picture that the Gloria you're looking at has a different journey in life than yours. But then you always have to be patient.
Yes.
Every day.
There's a statement, I think I was with you when we were talking about it, about people get for example, by 20, you have a house, you have this, you die at 30. And somebody gets those at 45 and they age up to 100.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that when you talk about different journeys, I think that should be something to teach the young generation to appreciate life for whatever stage and for whatever it brings you.
Yeah, and of course, as we are bringing up to the end of this, it's a new week, I think.
Yeah.
It's a new month, rather.
New month. Yeah.
We are in March.
Yeah.
Third it is,
Yeah.
and I think for all the viewers out there,
Yeah.
as on the side of me who is signing out, I wish all the best to all the students whose results are going to be released today.
Yeah.
And while choosing for universities, choose for a course that you think is going to add an impact to you.
Because this is a life. You know, university defines a lot.
Defines a lot. Try to increase on your social capital. And then at least work on making sure that you go through school, make time, learn these things. Don't be drawn back because of the results that that are going to be released today. Think about the future. Know that there is a lot you're going to earn in life. Be patient with yourself. Take it slow on yourself. Every little detail happens because of a reason. That's all I can say.
And maybe last one is, university is the place where you are at the peak of freedom, yet no responsibilities. So that's the time where you have to explore everything. I mean, because you are lucky, your parents are paying your tuition. They're even paying your hostel fee or giving you transport. Explore yourself, learn new things. I'm not saying, of course, you will make mistakes. That is part of life. We've made those mistakes, but the most important thing is what are you learning from those mistakes. But explore, learn something new on a daily basis. If it's very hard, spend 30 minutes learning something new, at least every day. Trust me, by the end of 3 years, 30 minutes, Monday to Sunday, 30 minutes, just making yourself better. That will be something very remarkable. Well, we've come to the end of SMB this morning, and of course, very grateful from where we started from, and all the way from 7 a.m. with our update number 1 till here as we are really winding up. Hope the week has been the best for you. Of course, we're heading into the weekend. As much as you're going to have fun, I know you're anticipating. Most of you have just gotten your salaries. Now probably you're thinking, man, let me go have a blast. But remember, you gotta, we are in the times we in, financial constraints are really at the maximum. We are in globalizations. I mean, quite so many. But of course, you need to really have that wisdom still as you're going into the weekend. And of course, I know some of your businesses didn't go well this week. It's time to go back and make strategies to ensure that you make it much more better. And for those that succeeded throughout the week in your business, of course, aim for the best. Don't settle for less. You can do much more better than that. Coming up is Financial Markets. That is with Anthony Sevali. And of course, you will be getting more information what is happening in there. And of course, from the entire SMB team, why don't we wish you a very happy weekend. Take care as much as learn something new, explore yourself. Till next week, goodbye.